Hey guys, I'm Jasmine and I love boba. You might have seen me over on Bring Me trying to finish a gallon of boba milk tea or trying unique boba treats in Taiwan. Because for me, boba is just one of those things that can turn a bad day into a better one. So I thought I would share 5 delicious and gorgeous boba recipes with you all so we can enjoy them together. All right guys, we're gonna start by making the boba first. We are making it from scratch. Of course, if you don't want to make it from scratch, you can buy pre-made boba from any local Asian grocery store. But actually making boba from scratch is quite easy and is only 3 ingredients. 3, not 6, 3. So let's start by adding in our water and our Muscovado sugar. And we're gonna turn that onto a medium-high heat. We're gonna stir this until it dissolves and comes to a boil. It's starting to boil, so I am going to add in a little bit of tapioca flour. You wanna mix this in well because we don't want these clumps. If you find that you're clumping too much, you can add a little bit of water to make that dissolve just a little bit easier. Once it looks something like this, we're going to add in half of our tapioca mixture. So we're just gonna stir this really vigorously until it forms a super sticky dough. Now that you got a super sticky dough like this, we're gonna turn the heat off. We're gonna add in the rest of our tapioca flour. And once that forms into a ball, we're going to move over to a new workstation and roll out the dough. I just let our boba dough cool for a little bit and I'm transferring it onto this clean counter and I'm just gonna incorporate all the tapioca flour into the dough. If your dough feels a little dry, you can add a little bit more water. If you feel like your dough is too wet, you can add a little bit more tapioca flour. I'm just gonna knead it until it's all incorporated. Once your dough is formed, it should look something like this. Roll it into a thick little oval like this, like a potato. I split it in half. And then we can easily roll both out. If it gets too long, you can separate them. When you think it's the right size, make it just a little bit smaller because it does expand when you cook it. And the boba dough does get harder to roll once it cools down. So if you want, you can put like a warm, wet towel over part of the dough while you're rolling out the other part. Alrighty, so I have 4 thinly rolled boba dough logs, and I am just going to put them together. And I'm going to be cutting them into small little boba pieces. Think a 1/4 inch. It's also okay that they're not all uniform. So now that we've gotten them into our little baby pieces, we roll them up into little balls. Let me show you a couple hacks on how I make this a little quicker of a process. So of course you can do it one by one like this, and you have your little boba. Or sometimes I'm able to put 5 on my palm. I'll put my palm over the other, and after some good old rolling, you'll have your delicious bobas. It didn't work. Today's not a good day. All right, so after some time rolling, you'll be able to see that they come out like this. Perfect. And then we throw them into a bowl with some tapioca flour and make sure they're well coated so they don't stick to each other. The other hack is spreading them onto the cutting board or your counter, wherever workspace that you choose, and just go to town. If you occasionally feel lazy in the kitchen like me, then this hack is great. But make sure your dough isn't too cold or this hack won't work. Ta-da! Look at that! Little boba babies. I call it boba, but you know, in different parts of the world, they are called something different. Boba, bubble tea, pearls. In Taiwan, they say zhenzu, which is pearl. Now that the water has come to a rolling boil, we're going to add in all of our boba and we're gonna stir it so it doesn't stick together. It's gonna turn a little cloudy just because of that excess tapioca flour that was coating it. You can mainly leave it unbothered for the next 20 minutes or so. While the boba's cooking, let's make our brown sugar syrup. It's very simple. We're just gonna add in some Muscovado sugar and some water. Gonna mix it and let it reduce just a little bit so it's nice and viscous. We are going to pour it into this heat-resistant glass over here. Yes, gorgeous. So now that the boba's down, we're gonna drain it and rinse it with cold water to keep it from cooking even more. And then we're gonna give our boba a brown sugar bath. You hear that? So we're gonna leave our bobas in this brown sugar syrup bath for about 30 minutes to an hour, just so it can really soak up that delicious, deep flavor of the Muscovado sugar. Yum! I put this one first because I think everyone trying boba for the first time should definitely try the classic Boba milk tea experience. The first step for making a boba milk tea is to make our tea. My favorite part is when the tea bag hits the water and then that heat that is slowly bubbling up, it causes that tea leaf to just release its gorgeous dark brown hue, and you can see those swirls in the water, and then you take your spoon, this is my favorite part, you press on the tea bag and it just like explodes with color. So while the tea is cooling down, we're gonna make our milk mixture. I personally love using condensed milk because I think it gives it a much richer flavor. It makes your boba milk tea multi-dimensional, and I want every experience with my boba to be multi-dimensional. Once you have those two together, you can whisk until it's combined. So this condensed milk mixture does make your drink even sweeter, especially with the Muscovado sugar bath that the boba is currently in. So if you prefer your drinks to be less sweet, you can just sub it with more black tea. On average, when I go to boba shops, I get a 25% or 50% sweet. Time to assemble our first drink. So we're gonna start by adding in our boba, and then add in some ice, and then we're gonna add in our black tea and top it with our sweetened milk. I like to add it slowly over a spoon to slow down that pour and really get those swirls. You can see that I'm actually failing here, but it's okay because it's still pretty and delicious. And voila, that's our first drink, the classic black milk tea with boba. Wow, that is so good. All right guys, the next drink we're making is a mango slush with boba. It's absolutely delicious. It was one of my childhood favorites because it's just so sweet and summery and refreshing. It's super easy. Take your blender and we're going to add in some frozen mango chunks, some water, and some condensed milk and just blend away. Once we've blended everything together, we can grab a glass, and I'm adding in some boba that we made earlier, and of course, topping it with our mango smoothie. Look at how beautiful it is. I love it. Time to drink the mango smoothie with boba. Oh, this will be a throwback. Mango smoothie, guys. I mean, come on. It's so refreshing. The next drink we are going to make is a strawberry matcha latte. Let's start by making our strawberry puree. We're gonna add in half a cup of diced strawberries and 2 tablespoons of sugar. We're gonna muddle it with a fork until it's nice and juicy. You can muddle it to your liking. So if you like chunks in your drink, feel free to leave some chunks. Now that we have it muddled, we're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. So while that's sitting, we're gonna go and make our tea. We're gonna add a teaspoon of matcha powder to a 1/3 cup of hot water and whisk it until bubbles form on the surface. If you don't have a whisk or a matcha whisk, don't worry, you can totally just use a fork. We're gonna add in our boba per the usual, and then we're gonna top it with our muddled strawberries. Now put in the ice after the strawberries. This will help with the layering. We're gonna slowly add in the half and half. The last step for this drink is to add our matcha. Again, slowly pour it over this drink. This drink is like very anxiety heavy, huh? Slowly, oh slowly, slowly. Look guys, it's so pretty. Strawberry matcha latte. The colors are just absolutely gorgeous. If you're trying to impress your friends, this is a drink to make. But I have to mix it. I'm sad I have to, but you know, it's just the way things are. It actually is still very pretty. Those chunks of strawberry are giving it a nice hint of red. Cheers! It's the perfect blend of matcha and strawberry. It's light, creamy, and fruity. I got a mouthful of strawberry puree and I'm in heaven. This is the taro milk tea with boba. It has a nuttiness to it that the other drinks don't have. So I've already steeped my green tea and let it come to room temperature. And now I'm gonna whisk my taro powder into the green tea. If you haven't had taro before, taro is a root. I would compare it to a sweet potato, but slightly more bland and slightly more sweet. It's very delicious. You can also sub the green tea with water if you're not looking for a caffeine kick, but trust me, the taste with the green tea just elevates it to a whole other level. Let's get to assembling. Add in our boba. Add some ice and then pour the taro tea into the glass. And then slowly add in our 2 tablespoons of half and half. Again, if you want that gorgeous swirl, you can pour it slowly over the back of a spoon. Mix it up and it's time to drink. Cheers! When you are chewing it and the flavor of the taro milk tea is fusing with the boba flavor, next level guys, next level. this is like the big home run because I think it's the prettiest. This is the PT latte with boba. If you don't know what PT is, it's a type of tea derived from the butterfly pea flower, and it has this beautiful blue color. And if you squeeze a lemon into it, it turns purple. Look at that, a purple tea. We're gonna steep a teaspoon of loose PT leaves in a cup of hot water for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna strain it and let it come to room temperature. That's essentially it. It's time to assemble, and we're gonna start by adding in our boba, ice, and then pour in our PT. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at that blue. I almost don't wanna ruin it. It's just so gorgeous, but we are. We're gonna add in a couple tablespoons of half and half, and it will look like you're drinking the ocean. And there you have it, the PT latte with boba. It's so gorgeous. Let's give it a try. I would say it tastes like a very, very light version of Thai tea. So if you enjoy lighter teas, this may be for you. There you have it, 5 must-try boba recipes that are delicious, unique, and beautiful. If you end up making any of these boba recipes or all of the boba recipes, make sure to tag me on Instagram so I can see it. Bye!
Oh, yes!